The Elves and the Shoemaker. Once there lived a shoemaker and his wife. He worked hard, but fashions changed, and people didn't buy his shoes anymore. He became poorer and poorer. In the end, he only had enough leather to make one last pair of shoes. Snip, snip. He cut out the shapes of 2 shoes. He left them on the workbench ready to start sewing in the morning. The next day, when he came downstairs, he found a beautiful pair of shoes. He picked them up and saw that every stitch was perfectly sewn.
I wonder who made these shoes,
he thought. Just then, a woman came into the shop.
Those shoes are gorgeous,
she said.
How much are they?
The shoemaker told her the price, but she gave him twice the money he had asked for. Now the shoemaker had enough money to buy food and some leather to make 2 pairs of shoes. Snip, 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 snip. He cut out the shapes of 4 shoes. He left them on the workbench, ready to start sewing in the morning. The next day, when he came down the stairs, he found 2 beautiful pairs of shoes.
I wonder who made these shoes,
he thought. Just then, a couple came into the shop.
Look at those shoes,
said the man. There is 1 pair for you and 1 pair for me. How much are they? Asked the woman. The shoemaker told them the price, but they gave him twice the money he had asked for. Now the shoemaker had enough money to buy more food and some leather to make 4 pairs of shoes. Snip, 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 snip. He cut out the shapes of 8 shoes. He left them on the workbench, ready to start sewing in the morning. The next day when he came down the stairs, he found 4 beautiful pairs of shoes.
I wonder who made these shoes,
he thought. Just then a family came into the shop.
Wow, look at those shoes,
said the boy. There is a pair for you and a pair for me, said the girl.
And a pair for Mum and a pair for Dad,
said the boy.
How much are they?
asked the parents. The shoemaker told them the price, but they gave him twice the money he had asked for. Now every evening the shoemaker would cut out the leather for new shoes, and every morning there would be perfectly stitched, beautiful shoes of all shapes and sizes. Shoes for men and shoes for women, shoes for boys and shoes for girls, big shoes and small shoes, boots and slippers. They were the best shoes in the land. As the nights became longer and colder, the shoemaker sat and thought about who could be making the shoes. Snip, 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 snip. The shoemaker cut out the leather for the shoes.
I know,
he said to his wife.
Let's stay up and find out who is making our shoes.
So the shoemaker and his wife hid behind the shelves. On the stroke of midnight, 2 little men appeared. They sat at the shoemaker's bench. Swish, swish, they sewed. Tap, tap, they hammered in the nails. Their little fingers worked so fast that the shoemaker could hardly believe his eyes. Swish, swish, tap, tap. They didn't stop until every piece of leather had been made into shoes. Then they jumped down and ran away.
Oh, those poor little men! They must be so cold in those rags,
said the wife.
They have helped us with all their hard work, and they have nothing. We must do something for them. What do you think we should do?
asked the shoemaker.
I know,
said the wife.
I will make them some warm clothes to wear. And I will make them some shoes for their cold, bare feet,"
said the shoemaker. The next morning, the shoemaker and his wife didn't open the shop as usual. They spent the whole day working, but it wasn't selling shoes. Clickety-click, the shoemaker's wife knitted 2 small jumpers. Clickety-click, she knitted 2 pairs of woolly socks. Swish, 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 she sewed 2 pairs of warm trousers. The shoemaker took the best leather he had. Snip, 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 snip. He cut out leather for 2 tiny pairs of shoes. Swish, 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 swish. He stitched 4 small shoes. Tap, 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 tap. He hammered the soles onto each pair. They were the best shoes he had ever made. That evening, the shoemaker's wife placed 2 jumpers, 2 pairs of trousers, and 2 pairs of socks on the workbench. The shoemaker placed 4 perfect shoes on the workbench instead of the leather for making shoes. Then they hid behind the shelves and waited. On the stroke of midnight, the 2 little men appeared ready for work. But when they saw the clothes, they stopped and stared. Then they quickly put them on. They were so happy they clapped their hands, clap, clap. They were so happy they tapped their feet, tap, tap. They danced around the shop and out of the door. And where they went, we'll never know.